Welcome to this video lecture in the topics output equation and choice of specific loadings from 5th unit design of synchronous machines in the subject design of electrical apparatus. So synchronous machines, it is of two types, salient pole machines and cylindrical rotor machines. So both the machines are having two important parts. Stator is the outer part of the machine and it is the stationary part, or it is also called here armature, and inner part is the rotating part of the machine, it is called as rotor, and it is the field system here. Salient pole machines are used in low speed applications and it is used in water wheel turbine machine or diesel engine machine. The rotor of the salient pole machines are driven by either water wheels, that is used in hydro power stations, or diesel engine machines, and it is having salient pole or it is projecting poles out of the rotor. And the cylindrical rotor machines are used in high speed applications. It is driven by steam turbine which are used in thermal power station or nuclear power station and gas turbines, etc. So it is used in high speed applications. So the cylindrical rotor machine are having slots and tooth in the outer periphery of the cylindrical rotor. So here the construction of rotor is also similar to the cylindrical stator here. So in the rotor slots we will be having the field conductors and it will be supplied with the DC supply for producing the necessary flux or magnetic field for the energy conversion process. And different types of synchronous machines based on power supply. It is hydro generators. The prime mover is water wheel and driven at 100 to 1000 rpm and available capacity is 700 up to 750 megawatt. Turbo alternators. It is operated by prime mover as steam turbine or gas turbine. Maximum speed is 3000 rpm and it is manufactured up to the capacity of 1000 megawatts. Engine driven, diesel engine driven machine, and it is up to 1500 rpm and with a rating of 20 megawatt, and motors are manufactured in wide ranging capacity and they are also provided with damper winding for damping of the oscillations. Compensators, that synchronous machine can be operated, especially the synchronous generators can be operated at any power factor, and also the synchronous motor can also be operated at any power factor. So usually suppose if synchronous generators are idle in idle power station, that will be operated at leading power factor load if it is necessitated by the power system. So that simply by varying the excitation applied to the machine, we can easily operate the synchronous motor at leading power factor. So if a synchronous motor operating at leading power factor can also be represented as synchronous compensators or synchronous condensers that can be used to improve the power factor in the network, transmission network. So that are called as compensators. They are manufactured up to a rating of 100 MVAr and runs up to 3000 RPM. So turbo alternators are characteristics with long axial length because it is used in high speed applications. So the diameter is limited with the machine. So length of the machine will be longer, diameter will be lesser, and the high speed of the rotor limits the diameter. So to about 1.2 meter, giving a peripheral velocity, it is more, that is 175 meters per second. For hydro generators, it is operated at low speed only. So hydro generators are used in hydro power stations, wherein different types of water wheel turbines are used. Pelton wheel is used for up to water heads of 400 400 meter and above. Francis turbine used for water rates up to 380 meters. Kaplan turbine is used for water rates up to 50 meters. And the speed of the alternators vary between 50 to 500 rpm, low speed only. The peripheral speed of the rotor is limited, that is why it is 80 meters per second. But for turbo alternator, it is 175 meters per second. Then runaway speed, it is the speed at which the prime mover would have if it is suddenly unloaded when working at its rated speed. So if you suddenly unload the machine speed will hike to a very high speed. So that speed is represented as runaway speed. So these are the following runaway speeds for different water turbine generators. Pelton wheel 1.8 times of the rated speed, Francis turbine 2 to 2.2 times of rated speed, and Kaplan turbine 2.5 to 2.8 times of the rated speed. It is the runaway speed for different water wheel turbines. For steam turbines, actually the governors will be very effective, and it will be quickly sense the speed if it is increasing. So governors are set to trip at 1.1 times of the rated speed. So turbo alternators are designed for 1.25 times of the rated speed as the runaway speed. So runaway speed of the steam turbine based alternator is lower as compared to water wheel turbines of Salem machine. So next is the output equation. This output equation of AC machine is common. So this output equation is common for induction machines as well as synchronous machines. So this output equation already we have derived in induction machine unit. Q is equal to C naught D square L into Ns, and whereas the C naught is the output coefficient, so that is 11 V average AC kWs into 10 to the power minus 3. So all the parameters are very similar to that of the induction machine. And so anyhow, let us see the output equation once again. So output equation will be derived basically from this EMF equation. So this is the general EMF equation of any AC machine. So wherein this kWs is the stator winding factor, and frequency of EMF induced is PNS by 2, where NS is in RPS, and this IZ is the conductor current. Current through each conductor is I phase by A, where A is the number of parallel paths, and Z is the total number of armature conductors. For a 3-phase machine, it is 3 times of 2 times of turns per phase is the conductor. In each turn, 2 conductors will be there. So it is 6 T phase is the total number of armature conductors, and the specific magnetic loading and electric loading is very similar in all the machines. So it is P5 is the total magnetic loading, IZ is the total electric loading. So these are the equations. For V average and AC, it is P5 by pi dl, and for AC it is IZ by pi d. So these equations are very similar. From this we will be substituting for P5 from this specific magnetic loading equation, and for IZ Z. So this for total magnetic loading in the kV rating of machine. So it is 3 into E phase into I phase into 10 to the power minus 3, because it is kVA. This is volt ampere. It is a 3-phase machine phase voltage, and 10 to the power minus 3 is to convert it into kVA. So like that we are writing. So EMF equation already we have written. It is 4.445F into T phase into kWs, and this I phase is equal to IZ if number of parallel path A is equal to 1. So it is IZ into 10 to the power minus 3, and so this equation. Then we will be separating out the terms P5 into IZ Z in this equation, and the remaining parameters are NS kWs into 10 to the power minus 3. So then we will be substituting for P5 and IZ from specific magnetic loading and electric loading. So it is pi dl into P average for P5, and IZ as pi d into AC, and then we are separating this V average AC kWs into 10 to the power minus 3, this part as C naught, and this D square L into NS. So that final equation for Q is it is output equation C naught D square L into NS, whereas this C naught is 11 V average AC kWs into 10 to the power minus 3, which kW is the stator winding factor. If it is not mentioned anything about the pitch factor or distribution factor of the machine, we will be assuming this KWS value is 0.955, and this d square L, this C naught is the output coefficient, and if it is assumed constant, then this output equation will depends upon two parameters, that is d square L, volume of active part of the machine, and ns is the speed of the machine. Or else if C naught is considered variable, then the C naught in turn is proportional to this B average and AC, so that output equation is proportional to four parameters, B average, AC, volume of active parts, and speed of the machine. So this is about the output equation of the synchronous machine. So this is also same as that of the induction machine. So that is what this output equation is mentioned here. So the same equation. Then the second part of this video lecture is the choice of specific magnetic loading. First part is the output equation that we have completed, and also some introduction about the synchronous machine, types of rotors used in the machine we have discussed. So next is the choice of specific loading, and first is the choice of magnetic loading. So that will depends upon the iron loss, voltage rating, transient short circuit current, stability, and parallel operation. Because it is a synchronous machine, mostly synchronous generators are used, and synchronous motors are used in very industrial applications, and all synchronous generators are used in power stations, whereas this steady state stability and parallel operation are two important parameters of any synchronous machine. So for that we are going to discuss about how the magnetic loading should be. So if as we know very well, higher the value of magnetic loading results in higher iron loss, because it will draw more magnetizing low power factor current from the source, that will result in increased iron losses, and so that the efficiency will be decreasing. This iron loss will introduce temperature rise in the machine. So a lower value of magnetic loading should be used in high voltage machine to avoid the excessive values of flux density in the teeth and core. As well as if higher value of magnetic loading is used, then the flux density will be more, so that will try to saturate the core. And so the other factors are the higher value of magnetic loading results in decrease in leakage reactance, so which results in higher short circuit current. So if reactance is lesser, current will be more. So to limit the initial short circuit current, low value of magnetic loading should be used. So for this iron loss, voltage rating, and short circuit current we have discussed, and stability and parallel operation will depends upon this specific magnetic loading. If specific magnetic loading is higher, the stability of the system will be more, as well as the parallel operation of the system will also be better. And so higher value will result in increased steady state stability limit, as well as satisfactory parallel operation we can obtain by having higher value of specific magnetic loading. The typical range of specific magnetic loading for synchronous machine is 0.5 to 0.65 webers per meter square. So next is the choice of specific electric loading. So this will, as usual, depends upon these three parameters: copper loss, temperature rise, and voltage rating. And other two parameters are synchronous reactance and stray load losses. And so as we know, machine designed with high value of AC has the following characteristics: that if AC is very much higher, then the poor voltage regulation, low current under short circuit condition, low value of steady state stability, and low value of synchronizing power. So as same as that of the specific magnetic loading, if we are defining the specific electric loading for these two parameters. So here, to get steady state stability limit and synchronizing power, low value of synchronizing power will be there if AC is higher. So here it is required to keep AC at its lower value to get these two parameters: higher steady state stability and higher synchronizing power. But that will result in voltage, that will affect the voltage regulation parameter. So if stray load losses are also increases steeply if we increases this AC. So AC ranges 20,000 to 40,000 ampere conductor per meter for serial input machine, and for turbo alternator it can be very higher. So up to 50,000, from 50,000 to 70,000 ampere conductors per meter. So these are all about the choice of specific loadings in synchronous machines. So in the next class we will discuss about the design of silent pole machine. and then design of turbo alternators. Thank you.